Water is life. It shapes our landscapes, fuels our communities, and sustains everything around us. But today, our watersheds need more help to sustain and grow. These natural areas that channel rainwater into rivers and lakes are vital for clean water and healthy ecosystems. Even though these challenges are immense, there's hope. Hope that through collaboration and innovation, we can protect and restore these precious resources for generations to come. I'm Spencer Stander, a filmmaker, and growing up near Lake Erie, I saw firsthand how water can shape a community. And I know that by working together, we can restore and protect our water.
For us, this is about really taking it to the next level.
This documentary is a story of partnership and action. I'm on a mission to explore the incredible work done by organizations like Niagara Bottling and discovering how they're supporting these transformative initiatives.
It just instills that sense of pride within our community that we are able to help out in any way that we can.
It takes all of us. It takes everybody getting involved.
We're focusing on the Colorado River Basin and the headwaters of the Rio Grande. My first visit is to Niagara Bottling headquarters, where they believe lasting change is possible.
It's great to see the impact we're making and how it ties to something people see every day and every do here at the office.
Niagara Cares, led by passionate individuals and hundreds of volunteers, is working to restore rivers, plant trees, and help farmers adapt sustainable water practices. With every project, I see hope for healthier rivers, more resilient communities, and a better tomorrow.
Being able to give back by really protecting watersheds and making a difference with water in the community is something we've been really excited about.
Everyone at Niagara seems to love their job. I'm curious about the company's origins and how they built such a fantastic culture. It's clear that philanthropy and volunteering play a key role, fostering a strong sense of community.
The Haycock family has been involved in charitable activities since the inception of the company.
Andrew Paykoff Sr. started Niagara in 1963 as a small family business. Today, it's a global leader in sustainable hydration, proving big ideas can flow from humble beginnings. I'm all about big ideas, so I'm heading to Colorado to meet some fascinating people with bold plans, already transforming water in the West for good. In Colorado, the rivers are in trouble, but there's hope. Niagara's charitable partner, Colorado Water Trust, is working to restore rivers in a very interesting way.
At Colorado Water Trust, we're all water professionals who've come together to work at a nonprofit to add water back into Colorado streams and rivers. Water in our state is really precious. Today we are hanging out at Barker Reservoir, which is part of a project that the Colorado Water Trust has been working on for over a decade to keep water in the Boulder Creek watershed.
What's the importance of this reservoir?
The importance of this reservoir is that it provides water to the city of Boulder. What we try to do is maximize its use and be very strategic about keeping water where it can be used productively multiple times. So this project is a good example where we have water that we protect out of Jasper Reservoir. That water is released into Boulder Creek, where it's really important to support the fishery and the environment. And then that water travels all the way down to East Boulder County, where it can be used for agricultural production. So we're strategically using the water many times. 40, 50 years ago, snowpack would have been keeping our flows in the local rivers healthy and propped up through the fall. These days, the snow melts earlier, the soil around the rivers dries out, and so there's no addition of moisture to that stream system to keep them flowing into the late summer and fall without the inputs from a reservoir or another source where we can retime that water.
High five.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. If you think about it with a reservoir, it is not a natural system, right? Like this used to just be a stream coming down from the mountains towards the plains. And now we have a reservoir here. Now that we have it here, wildlife enjoy it, right? Like you can see the deer print right there. Try not to fall in the water. But the other thing that the reservoir, it's just so important because what we do this time of year is that our city, which manages the reservoir, is able to let water out into the stream. And it's a critical time of year because fish are still there, but we don't have a lot of stream flow. There's no more snow to melt. And so by virtue of having the reservoir here, that's one of the only ways we can keep flows healthy in the stream below.
It's in projects like these that we see the power of hope, transforming scarcity into sustainability. As I stand here, surrounded by so much beauty, I can only imagine what it would be like if these streams weren't flowing. I'm curious to know more, so Kate and Dana take me downstream.
This is Boulder Creek. This is where the project that we have working with Jasper Reservoir is sending water to.
How many gallons of water do you send back into rivers?
Nearly 2 billion gallons of water into Colorado's rivers and streams every year.
That is crazy. I'm just imagining without that, and this river probably wouldn't even be here.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of rivers and streams that we work on where at this time of year they're turning into dried out riverbeds and we're able to transform them into these cool flowing waterways.
We're witnessing a remarkable effort to restore and sustain Boulder Creek. This initiative is a vital part of the larger mission to protect our rivers and ensure a healthy ecosystem for generations to come. Today, I'm in New Mexico to see how the National Forest Foundation is making a real difference. They fund innovative initiatives that support the U.S. Forest Service and fuel critical work of the Rio Grande Return. On the ground, Rio Grande Return implements essential restoration projects, while the National Forest Foundation ensures the long-term health of these precious ecosystems. Together, they're securing the future of water in the West.
Through our partnership with Niagara Cares, they're able to directly support projects that are improving our national forests and our watersheds. In this project here at San Antonio Creek, Niagara Cares is helping us do that work to help restore San Antonio Creek to its natural state and make us have a healthier watershed to provide to downstream communities. We're going to be offsetting and restoring the impacts that the stream has experienced over the last decades or even centuries. In an arid climate like the Southwest in New Mexico, wetlands and the riparian areas around streams tend to provide habitat for most of the wildlife. The bird species, the insects, the turtles, they need this to maintain their lives. Realistically, when we look at the Rio Grande headwaters, we're going to be putting in thousands of these beaver dam analogs to help restore these systems to a more natural state. These systems, these stream systems, are really dynamic. At different times of year, they may expand as snow melts, as monsoon and rain comes in. What we're seeing here is some of the lowest flows throughout the year. But the importance of this work is not only in the stream, but it's beyond the stream, in the areas along it, the riparian areas. And what we're doing is reconnecting those riparian areas to the stream so the water can spread into the floodplain and make wetlands that filter the water and help hold that water like a sponge so it can be released downstream throughout the year. The headwaters have to be healthy to deliver the water downstream to communities like Albuquerque on the Rio Grande, Las Lunas, all the way into Texas. Communities are getting their water that starts here in this creek off this national forest. Over a third of Americans are dependent on water coming off of national forests, and we need to ensure that these national forests continue to produce that water.
I work for the Santa Fe National Forest. It's a forest in northern New Mexico. We cover about 1.6 million acres. We're here at San Antonio Creek to look at a site that restoration will be occurring on. Riparian systems are the areas where stream and the uplands interact. It's where we have vegetation that needs some of those moisture soils, and it is dependent on some of those flow patterns of those streams. The health of these systems and maintaining these systems in healthy and functioning conditions really benefits people. So the Forest Service is charged with maintaining the health and productivity of our nation's forests. We're the stewards of the land, and Rio Grande Return is our partner who's really focused on implementing the work. And they're funded through the National Forest Foundation.
Have any beaver naturally come back? Or?
You know, we were just walking upstream a little bit and we were seeing some beaver chews, so they are moving into this area.
Rio Grande Return is a nonprofit organization focused in the Southwest, and we can restore ecosystems. We're on San Antonio Creek on the Jemez Mountains of northern New Mexico, and we're currently at a beaver habitat restoration site where we're working on restoring floodplain connectivity and creating beaver habitat through planting willow and in-string interventions, including beaver dam analogs. And so we're basically making fake beaver dams to the best of our human abilities. This is a beaver dam analog that we built about 4 years ago. Prior to the construction of the structure, the stream was significantly more incised into its floodplain, and the channel was a lot more uniform. And so the habitat suitability for a whole host of fish species, as well as various other riparian associates, was a lot worse. Beavers are critical to the Southwest in particular, but really North America as a whole. They were ubiquitous across all riparian systems and are critical now as we're facing increasing drought and kind of climate resiliency issues. They really help promote not only tremendous amounts of wildlife diversity, but also the water storage capacity that they facilitate in these aquatic ecosystems is really tremendous. They also have incredible impacts in terms of fire resiliency as well. A floodplain reconnected stream reach can act as a natural fire break and provide critical refugia for wildlife. This is some willow that we planted about 3 years ago. It was largely extirpated locally, like within this drainage, due to centuries of livestock grazing and then high elk populations.
With these three entities joining forces, I have the confidence in a brighter future. Together, they're crafting a vision for a healthier environment, and it fills me with optimism to witness such collaboration in action. Our forests are disappearing, taking clean water with them. But with hope and action, the Arbor Day Foundation and other dedicated partners like Americas for Conservation and the Arts is bringing these vital ecosystems back to life. Their initiatives go way beyond planting trees. They're about restoring balance to the environment and enhancing the quality of life for communities everywhere. The Arbor Day Foundation has planted over 500 million trees worldwide, with the goal of planting 500 million more by 2027. Today, I'm in Colorado, where the community and Niagara Bottling volunteers are actively working in the suburbs to plant trees at households and parks. This work is crucial. Not only does it restore habitat for wildlife, but it improves air quality and reduces urban heat. Every tree planted is a step toward a healthier, more hopeful future for our rivers and communities, a legacy of hope for generations to come.
The Forestry Department did a major investment in this community in the 60s and 70s with all the city trees you see around you. Now that forest needs to be replenished, and so work like this, every little bit helps.
We're really excited to get our hands dirty and plant some trees today.
Oh, okay, thanks.
We're planting trees. We want to get out, at least me, I like planting trees. I have lots at home. I plant as many as we can, and I like to get out and support the community, show the community that we are interested in supporting them and working alongside. It makes me feel good.
For best practices in watering, we want to avoid spraying any of the trunk or the leaves because these can burn really easily. Especially on young trees, this bark is still really thin. So sometimes people will kind of just spray down the tree to water it, but that's actually not really getting the water where we want, which is deep down here in the roots. Another thing that people don't know in Colorado is you can actually water in the winter. Trees actually don't absorb snow. It seems like, I know, because when the sun comes out and it melts, you think it's melting into the ground. No, where it's super high elevation and the sun is super hot and strong, the snow melts directly into the air. Wow. It's evaporating. This is what we want. Now it's all backfilled so we can take it out. Awesome. Perfect, thanks guys.
We do a lot of volunteering events throughout the community. Water is important. It's the key thing in our bodies. So working for a water bottle industry, we help people every single day in disaster situations. We help out local communities all over the country. It is inspiring.
I actually really liked the house we did across the street. They got a very nice sugar maple. It's going to stand out really nicely against the home. So in a place like Colorado, the shade really helps retain the water in the ground. The trees filter, they absorb, they pull light, they pull moisture in, but they also help, their root system also helps keep that moisture in the ground.
Is it hard work doing planting trees?
We dig that hole. I think we did about 30 minutes worth of work. Planting a tree, it's not that hard.
Trees are true environmental heroes. In the fight against climate change, a single mature tree can absorb 48 pounds of carbon dioxide each year.
Massage the roots so they can awaken.
The oldest known living tree is a Bristol clone pine, which is over 4,800 years old. I wonder if one of these trees we plant today could beat that record.
One of the folks ended up being on the phone and was really appreciative for the work that we were out there doing today, and just really grateful that we had an interest in the betterment, making their space more beautiful, more healthy, and there was a lot of appreciation there.
Niagara does these types of activities to make sure we're giving back to the communities that we're in. Not only taking care of our employees here, but then all the people in and around Aurora.
As I stand here, surrounded by all the incredible work done, I'm filled with a renewed sense of hope. The efforts of organizations like Niagara Bottling and their amazing partners are proof that we can make a difference when we all work together. Their commitment to sustainability and community engagement is nothing short of inspiring. It's clear that by focusing on collaboration, we can restore rivers, protect our resources, and secure a better future for generations to come.
Part of being a strong team is making sure that there's a great impact in the community and being able to get out there and do things together. Niagara has a long history of being very involved in the community, and we've had a great opportunity to do this, time and time again.
It's been a personal dream of mine to connect with organizations like the Arbor Day Foundation, whose work is truly transformative. And just by chance, Niagara Cares was hosting an additional tree planting event near my home in Southern California. I couldn't resist getting involved.
We inspire people to plant, nurture, and celebrate trees. And being here today, seeing people taking trees home to plant in their front yards and backyards is about the best thing we can get to do.
Trees are important for so many different reasons, and one of those reasons is water, which is why it's such a natural partnership with Niagara Bottling. And so planting these trees here not only helps with water restoration, but water replenishment.
So we're removing the mulch, and now we're going to dig.
We appreciate that trees have a unique opportunity that sits at the intersection of carbon and water and air. And so we understand the interesting co-benefits that come along from being able to plant trees, really helping us start to address some of the biggest climate issues that we're facing as a society.
From the Colorado River to communities here in Southern California, it's clear that the fight for water conservation and environmental sustainability requires all of us. Niagara Bottling isn't just a name, it's a promise. Their dedication to their partners is evident in their actions. They're making a real impact, one community at a time.